right. So what I have here is a site called SDCC Unofficial Blog. They are the ones that pretty much report like all the really important news for San Diego Comic-Con. Um, so
If you're hearing echo,
this is,
if anybody's hearing echo, the Twitch is now pinned in the space, so you got to mute that Twitch that's there if you hear echo.
ooh, yeah, good call. Um, So yeah, San Diego Comic-Con, for those of you who don't know, it is an IRL show, and it's probably, I would argue it's probably the biggest convention, as far as comic conventions go, probably the biggest one in the world. It draws like probably, I want to say like 100,000 people maybe a day or so. It's a lot of people. It's close to like the New York Comic-Con. But they also like the convention pretty much takes over the entire downtown area too. So I feel like it draws more people than just like ticketed people. It also draws in people who don't have tickets and they just want to see all of the off sites, which take over the entire like downtown Gaslamp district. So that's just like a little bit of background. If you, and I guess if you've never been to a convention before, it's pretty similar to this, where you have a bunch of booths, you have panels, and meetups and hangouts and parties and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, you guys really captured it really well in like this virtual world. But anyway, all that to say, like, this is like basically the blog, and like they have a Twitter account and IG account, so they report everything. So they collected like all the stuff, all the announcements that I was making for all of my San Diego Comic Con exclusives, all in this one convenient page. So you can kind of see, and it basically goes in the order that I was announcing stuff. So the first thing I announced was this Soonay and Tototai candy. Soonay and Tototai are my original characters, and the subjects that you probably see in a lot of my NFTs. So this is a local company. They're amazing. Sticky USA. They hand make these candies, if you can believe that. Like you can watch their lives, and they like stretch the candy and cut it and everything. So they created these really awesome. Like I commissioned them these really awesome custom candies, which we gave out during the Soonay meetup, which was considered one of the off sites because you didn't need a badge to go. This is where I announced some exclusive pins. So starting at the top, the meetup I just referenced, that top pin was an LE50 pin that you could only get if you went to the meetup and you were one of the first 50. And I think like by the time I showed up, because my booth babes got there first to hold down the fort, by the time I got there, I think there was like over 100 people. So it was like a really good turnout, and there were unfortunately not enough pins to go around, but that's kind of just how it is at Comic Con sometimes. Like really limited exclusives, and sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. And then you can see the pink version on the left was the debut, but it still qualified for the official logo, which you can see in the packaging. And the one on the bottom right was the LE200 exclusive, and that one was probably the most popular pin that I had at the show. I did allotments, and it sold out almost first thing, like every day. Um, so there's some close-up shots of the pins. So this I was really proud of. I released my first card decks. So the ones that you see here is the open edition, and again, it's a debut, so it still had the debut official logo sticker on it. This one here was the LE500, and so this one has foil, and you can see it has like the red gilded edges and everything. So this is all hand drawn, like pen and ink, and then colored digitally in Photoshop. And I tried to design it so like the names of the birds correspond with the numbers on the cards. So that was another exclusive, and they're actually available on my website, on my Shopify right now. If anyone's interested, there were some leftovers of these card decks. The next one, you can see these are all the actual Soonay figures. If any of you have collected any of my, like the Soonay figure NFT on wax, it looks like little stickers basically of my original character, but this is like basically how Soonay was born, was as a resin designer toy figure, completely handmade. So these figures, I got some help with the molding on this one because it is a more complex 3-part mold, but I hand cast each of these. I cleaned them up, and then all the sanding and stuff, and then hand painted as well. So these were really challenging because I had to cast like the little trees inside and all of the bits of glitter and stuff. So I was really happy with how these came out. These were LE60 for San Diego Comic-Con. And since I released my card decks, I wanted to do something tied into that. So I called this the Suit Up Soonay, because it has like all the card deck suit glitters like embedded into it. This one I called the Thermal Cam Soonay, and all of these are, I hand cast all of these. This one I tried to make it look like kind of like an infrared or thermal camera. So you can see it glows in the dark, and since I used 3 different colors of glow in the dark resin, it glows 3 different colors too. And then this is the Sakura version of Tototai, similar to the one you saw earlier of Soonay, but just instead it's Tototai. So some people were trying to get both of them to have like a matching set. These are some special art I created. You can see, if you recognize, if you've ever been to the San Diego Comic-Con or the convention center, you can see that's in the background. So I have my 2 characters kind of sailing around because like the convention center is that close to the Pacific Ocean. Like it's literally just steps away from the water, and there's like a bunch of ships out there and stuff, a lot of boats. So so this was kind of my nod to the convention center. So I did it as a very limited LE25 set of prints, and then you can see there's also the 2 fans with the artwork on it. And both of the fans are available on my Shopify too. I had leftovers of those. No toys though. The toys they're like the very, very first thing to sell out each day. So then this one kind of ties into the artwork you saw below. This is the next set of pins. So the one on the left is the open edition debut. The one on the right is it's the LE200 exclusive. So far, if you have been looking at like any of the promo NFTs or the freebie dailies, you might recognize some of these arts. So the ones that you saw of the resin figure actually came with a free redeemable NFT, but some of these other things like these pins were part of like the free daily giveaways, or they were part of like the promo packs that I was giving out to kind of promote like our presence at San Diego Comic-Con. And I know I gave some to Consumer Break. I don't know if you were able to give some out, but I know Sully was giving some out. And
Yeah, I've given some out, and then you also gave us a ton for the
Oh
swag.
yeah,
So everybody,
yeah,
make sure to also enter the swag that's in the welcome area. Thank you very
yeah.
much. It's awesome, and people really love them too. They ask for them when I'm
Oh,
streaming. They're like,
nice.
"Hey, there's some packs in your wallet, right? Are you gonna give some away?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, I am."
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. So NFTOPIA has like 100 of those promo packs,
Yep.
and I don't know if the blends are still up, but there were some LE5 blends that were up that you could do with my autograph, which you can only either get like IRL if you meet me, or if you can find it on the secondary market of people that have like found me at shows. So then this next exclusive, talking about wallets, this is an actual wallet, and it was actually kind of a surprise. I thought this one was going to be the last thing to sell because it's a ladies' wallet, and so I was like, well, there's not as many women at like Comic-Con, and who knows if they want to buy one of these. Turns out, since I didn't set allotments on it, it ended up being the very first thing to completely sell out. So I was pretty shocked about that. But you can win. I have a Twitter contest, so if you were wanting to get this or Sakura Soonay or some of the other sold out exclusives, if you check out my Twitter, it only goes until like maybe a little less than 5 hours from now. So get your entries in, but you could possibly win a prize pack of a whole bunch of my exclusives and debuts. And I'm Valorandvellum on Twitter too. So these were just, these are just graphs and charts, but it kind of shows everyone wants to know what the daily allotments are and what all the rules are, because Comic-Con's like pretty intense. Like people, it gets competitive, especially when there's like low LE exclusives. So I created these charts just to, kind of let everyone know. That way there's no question about it. And here is the flyer I made for the meetup that we had. So, you can see we gave away the 50 pins. I also gave away stickers and that hard candy that we saw, at first. And you can see there's a picture of Yamster. If any of you guys know Yamster, you've probably seen him around like Discord and Twitch and stuff. So he helped me out a lot and helped kind of spearhead. Like I just shipped all the prizes and stuff to him and asked him to help me out with that, just to take something off my plate. So, he was great, and he took care of all of that. And we posted this picture because people before, they didn't know who to look for at the meetup. So this time we were like, okay, here he is, and he's going to be wearing an apron that says Soonay Squad on it.
That's a good
So
idea.
yeah, so
Yeah.
learning from last year, yeah. So they knew look for the guy with the Soonay Squad apron, and that made it a lot easier for people that aren't part of the community and see him all the time. I also created some stickers for the event, and I gave a few of these away yesterday on my stream. And then these were some extra prizes for that meetup, just some like test figures that I had, but people seem to like them even though they're not finished or anything. These are actual pen and inks that I use for artwork, so I was releasing some framed versions of these at the show. We had special tote bags that were made. I know I remember someone mentioning like some tote bags yesterday for like IRL events, and it's a great idea because like at conventions people walk around with these, so it's kind of like little walking advertisements. So I created just 1,000 of these, and it was free with purchase. So even if you just bought a sticker, you got one of these. And so yeah, people seem to dig them. And then I had these prizes. So if people bought my exclusive or debut pins, they had a chance to receive a bonus prize because I put little like raffle tickets in each packaging. So one person did claim one of the pencil sketches. These were what I used to design the actual pins themselves. So these were the pencil sketches. And then we also have the raw pin protos, and each of these came with a corresponding NFT. So the person who won the Ellie 1 of 1 ship sketch that you see on the left here actually received a claimable 1 of 1 NFT as well. So I was able to walk her through and get her onboarded, and then she was able to claim her 1 of 1. Like, what a way to like get into the world of wax, is to start with like a 1 of 1 NFT. But yeah, it's one way to get in. And then same with all the raw pin protos. So if you have any of my packs that I dropped yesterday, or any of the promo packs that you could win, say from Consumer Break, I think he has a couple of the promo packs of leftovers too. Those also have a corresponding NFT. So it's anything from like, I think LE3 to LE6 on the raw pin protos. Not many people claimed them. So a bunch of those are in those leftover packs. And some of them stake like pretty decently if you play Wombat Dungeon Master. I think some of them go up to like 400 MP. And these were some 1 of 1 figures that I managed to pull off like seriously last minute, like in the last week. So these were all just kind of for fun, so I could relax and do something that wasn't as stressful. This last one here, what, like if you've played or seen The Last of Us, so like that's the one I'm probably like most proud of the 1 of 1s, because I did sculpting. I used epoxy sculpt and UV resin to kind of get that clicker look, and then used a bunch of like metallic paints on it. So yeah, these are all kind of like the IRL physical versions of all the stuff that you guys probably see like on the Wax blockchain. And I think, yeah, that's pretty much wraps it up for San Diego Comic-Con.
That was great. Boy, you sure are busy for Comic-Con, huh?
Yeah, super busy. Yeah,
How
and
long
that's
does
in
it
addition
take?
to all the open edition stuff.
But you do all sorts of When was the convention that you went to before last week?
Oh, it was 2 huge conventions in a row. So it was Anime Expo, which does like, it's crazy. That's like 100,000 people a day packed into like, it is the LA Convention Center, but with that many people, like that's basically a whole city that you're trying to pack into a convention center. Just crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had Anime Expo, and then after this, I think the next one's coming up will be SAC Anime. If anyone's from Sacramento, there's New York Comic Con and TwitchCon. Excited about TwitchCon. Probably gonna try and push Wax a little bit at that one
Love it.
because of all the streamers. let's see, and then KumoriCon and DesignerCon, that's another great one to push NFTs at. If anybody attended last year, they actually had a whole carnival section just for NFTs and like a bunch of booths for NFTs that were all in one section. So kind of like the IRL version of NFTOPIA, but like, you know, at DesignerCon. So it'll be cool to see if they have like the same kind of NFT presence.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see, you know, one day see like maybe a booth for wax there.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. You were really, that's like a core part of your business to really go to and sell at conventions.
Oh yeah.
How long does it take for you to prep for one convention? Probably a long time. Like this San Diego one, how long did you take to like prep it? Or are you using a lot of materials and stuff from other ones?
You know, it honestly depends. If it's a smaller show, I just bring my open edition stuff and it might be like a small 6-foot table. So that requires like very little time. I just, you know, bring the usual routine stuff. But if it's something huge like Comic-Con where it is very dependent on exclusives, like it's a collector con, so that's what people are looking for. I basically took like April and May not completely off from shows, but you know, I kept it incredibly light and tried to focus most of my time preparing all of the exclusives for it, because some of these things, like, you know, you have to order from overseas and it takes time, and if you don't want to pay like, you know, a boatload in shipping costs, then you have to go, you know, you can order it by ship, which takes like a month to a month and a half just for the shipping time alone, not to mention whatever time you need for like the production turnaround. So really, like, you know, the sooner you can get started, the better, because then you aren't stressing about like stuff showing up in time, you know, once you get closer to the show. So really, like, I would say like there were small things I probably started a little bit before April, but the bulk of it I was really just trying to hammer in on April, like, and I made a list too of things that I knew would take the longest to produce and ship, and then, you know, kind of like made a priority list going down to the things that, you know, like say the figures. I knew those they take more of my time, but once I'm done making it, they're in hand, like literally in hand. So that I put towards, you know, the end of the schedule, and the things that I knew would take a long time, I made sure I did like, you know, early April to get the orders in. So, you know, it's just a lot of like organization and then trying to stay on task with like all the new artwork, because there was just a lot of new artwork. Like the card decks alone
Wow.
took so much time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Such a hard worker, and thank you for also. We told you at the main stage too, but thanks so much for participating with us too. After all that, here at NFTopia, we had her be a main stage speaker yesterday, and you were like streaming too, and we're doing this now. And that a great question from Randman: which one of you two is going to win Devil's Advocate? Well, that's up to you guys.
Oh man.
It's up to you guys to vote. But that's right. Here, this was an intro to the other one of the other contestants. And then the third contestant is next door. We're going to, that's the next one here.
Nice.
So we get a nice little an intro
Oh no.
before we start debating on
Yeah,
the
they're probably
BDA
already deciding.
show. You're already deciding. Well, let our debates talk first. I did not prep that much, so we're just gonna see how it goes. But yeah, thank you. This is awesome. Any other last questions before we step next door? Actually, there's like 10-minute break. Like there's 10 minutes break. So like if we just hang in here for a few minutes, ain't no big deal. Anybody got anything to ask Priscilla before we let her be? And then we'll see her again in 2 hours. Bloody asked about a shop link. I'm sure that your link's right here, right?
Oh yeah,
your
let me
booth
see.
links.
I can.
Website, Discord, Twitter, Instagrams. I'm sure the website has all the goodies.
Am I
Funkin'
able
Crypto
to
in the
send you
house.
in the chat?
Funkin was entertained us last night at the talent show. What a fun time that talent show last night was. What a fun time. We had some performers and it was great. Funkin played some guitar for us. It was great. I loved it.
No Yamster hamburgers. Yeah, there weren't any actual raw meat hamburgers at the Soonay meetup this time. We've heard your feedback, so if you guys want some raw hamburger meat at the next one, maybe we can provide that.
Raw hamburger meat.
Everyone saw that picture of Yamster pretending to grill hamburgers.
Oh.
And everyone's like, oh, where's the burgers?
All right. zoomed in here. We're checking out who's in the booth. This is awesome, y'all. 29 people in the booth. We got 37 in the stream. Thank you all for joining. Some of you just hanging out the whole weekend with me, just following along. That's awesome. If there's no questions, we'll let Priscilla be and let her prep for our big debate, I guess, or whatever.
I mean, I don't know how to prep for this.
We'll just wing it. Winging it's fun too.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So
just wing it.
Just wing it.
It'll
Yeah.
be
And yes, I do have prizes from her. I don't know how many I have in the break wallet. We could add some to the bounty block. Let's do that. The bounty block is linked over on the Twitch. It's pinned at the top, and then the link is right here for you guys in the booth. Was there any leftover merch?
Asked about leftovers. And yeah, it's in my Shopify right now. So there's like the leftover LE 500 card decks, and then the LE 500 exclusive fans, and then there's also the debut fans, the debut card decks, and the debut ship pins. Those were the 5 things that were left over from the convention. So those are all available in my Shopify now, which I think I linked above.
Nice. So hit up the Shopify and you can get some goodies. Oh la la! Thank you very much. Bloody says he wants some stuff. Cool.
And then you see there's that bounty block link, so that's where you can win some of those prizes.
Yeah, we have an hourly bounty block going on, so you can win 2 free, or 2 winners will win a common pin from us, and then from Soonay, I'll dig up some packs. Yeah, I have something, and stuff won't pull up, but yeah, I'm gonna add a few of those San Diego packs to there, the promo packs. So enter that. And yeah, let's go ahead and move forward then. Thank you very much, Valorandvellum, Priscilla. This is our first official, I guess, because we never did a consumer break AMA yet. I'm sure at some point we might, but you're so busy, I totally get that. I'm busy too. I'm extremely busy too. But here we had our first, I guess, official AMA. This was great. I love everything you're doing with the collection and then the physicals and all that Comic-Con or all convention work. There's only a few wax creators that are really doing a lot of that, so that's beautiful. It's amazing, and bringing people to wax too, onboarding people to wax too from those conventions. I must say that's the real deal right there. All right, let's step over to the next booth for Brick Society.